July the 1st, Introduction. The Anglo-Saxons call this month Maidmanath, which means when meadows flower. Wet habitats such as marshes and riversides are particularly proliferous, as are roadsides and hedgerows. In many waste areas, it's quite possible to identify 100 species of flowering plant within an hour. Earlier flowers are now starting to fruit, and other late flowering species are just starting to come into bloom. Summer sees summer at its absolute height. The sun is so high in the sky, it often produces the hottest and driest month of the year. Where it casts shadows, they tend to be small ones. As the month progresses, the daylight hours get shorter and dusk occurs more rapidly. By the end of the month, the sun is setting half an hour earlier than it did at the beginning, and Londoners are starting to comment on the nights drawing in. The dog days, which run from July the 3rd to August the 11th, derive their name from Sirius, the dog star, which at this time is the brightest star in the sky. Traditionally, these are the hot, hazy, languid days of summer. However, July also sees some unsettled weather, especially thundery weather, with the occasional downpour. It is not regarded as a windy month, although there are short bursts, especially afternoon storms. It also tends to be quiet, as so many birds have stopped singing and many are hiding away as they moult their feathers. Because of all the flowers, it is very colourful and very scented, with species such as sweet chestnut producing heavy scents that carry. Insects are now everywhere, considering they were hardly noticed 2 months ago. At times, looking upwards, there can be so many that even gulls can be seen eating them. Not surprisingly, Londoners complain of being bitten. In areas of rough grassland, the tisn't me call of the grasshopper can now be heard. Beside open water, dragonflies and damselflies are noticed more. Elsewhere, bees are killing drones, froghoppers are jumping, grass moths are building in numbers wherever there is long grass, and at night there are many more large attractive moths. Having bred most of our mammals, reptiles and amphibians are now in much greater number, though tend to be seen more. This is especially true of the gauche youngsters not used to humans. Birds. July is fundamentally a month dominated by the sound and activity of young birds. Fledglings become highly vocal in their nests, constantly crying for food, and go on to make constant supplications to their parents once they have left. Protective behaviour from parents trying to defend their young is one of the most attractive features of the month. This may be just warning or alarm calls to their heedless young. Mobbing is a common sight, with more than one species often joining together to harry a potential predator. Swallows seem to do it with more delicacy when they pursue intruders near their nests. More dramatically, terns are known to knock off hats and even draw blood. Most surprisingly is the malevolent croak of a nightingale if you stray too near, and more charming are lapwings pretending to have broken wings to draw you away from their young. There is no dawn chorus in July, although blackbirds do make a half-hearted attempt, seemingly impervious to traffic noise. On the typical hot, sultry days of the month, blackbirds and woodpigeons and some other birds may be seen with outstretched wings appearing to pant. It is thought this may be a way of losing heat. Their feathers may be raised for the same purpose. If the birds are seen lying on their sides, it is thought this might possibly help in reducing ticks. Young birds behaving foolishly is a common sight, some fledglings now almost the size of their parents. It is a good time to see marsh harriers flying over marshes looking for young ducks to eat, as well as cats in gardens looking for helpless, noisy fledglings. By the end of the month, all this hectic breeding activity has almost come to an end. Most parents look drab and exhausted, and others well into their molt. Male mallards are now indistinguishable from their dull-coloured females, and other birds such as pheasants and shovelers have lost all their fine feathers. Canada geese have lost so many feathers they're now unable to fly, and so there are no V-shaped formations of honking geese to be heard or seen this month.